Right now, on to the point. Controversy over a historic gold mine in Nevada County.
The deficient domestic well data is inadequate and should not be certified.
Hundreds voicing their opinions before a final vote to reopen it or keep it closed. New details in that deadly Kansas City parade shooting, what we now know about a possible motive. Plus, new federal security concerns over the plan to build a new city in Solano County. And later in the show, undamming the Klamath River along the California-Oregon state line, why it's happening, and the progress made so far. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Becca Habiger. Alex Bell has the night off. We start tonight with that controversial gold mine in Nevada County. It could be closer to reopening for the first time in decades. Right now, the Board of Supervisors is hearing from hundreds of people as some voice support and others opposition to this project that is years in the making. Our Jeannie Nguyen has been at this meeting all day and explains what's at stake.
That meeting is still going on right now as we are that much closer to finding out if the Idaho-Maryland gold mine will reopen. Now, this comes after years of public meetings of support and opposition from community members here in Nevada County. While there still is no decision just yet, people for and against this project say they're confident the Board of Supervisors will vote in their favor.
The IR should not be certified and the project denied.
One.
The county should deny the Idaho-Maryland mine project.
By one.
Is inadequate and should not be certified.
Hundreds of Nevada County residents made their voices clear to the Board of Supervisors.
We're definitely here to tell our story and remind the supervisors of why this mine is a really bad idea for this community.
The company Rise Gold bought the Idaho-Maryland mine in Nevada County back in 2017 with the hopes to reopen it, believing there's still a good amount of gold left. It's been a years-long battle to get to today's meeting, the final meeting for public comment before the Board of Supervisors makes their final decision.
And this would have a big positive impact on the community, on the economy, on jobs, on the tax base.
Back in December, the company tried to bypass the California Environmental Quality Act by claiming vested rights, saying the intent was always to continue mining after it stopped in the 1950s. However, the county rejected that attempt. On top of that, last May, the county's Planning Commission recommended the board deny Rise Gold's request to reopen the mine following the environmental impact report.
This level of mining and processing activity could be considered inconsistent with the rural character and quality of life of the surrounding area.
Today, Rise Gold reiterated the positive impacts the mine would have on the community. During the meeting, renderings showed what the project site would look like, even including images showing the mine would be out of sight from the main road. Some opposers in the crowd chuckled and responded by saying, "Yeah, right."
You know, Rise has had plenty of opportunities to compromise. In fact, it's been really remarkable how little they've tried to work with the Wells Coalition community or even with NID.
If the board ends up denying this project, Rise Gold says it will look into all of its legal options, including a lawsuit or demanding the county to pay them what the property is worth.
Just compensation would be conservatively estimated at hundreds of millions of dollars.
Regardless of what decision is made today, opposers say they're not giving up until this project is completely shut down.
We're in this fight for the long haul.
County staff says public comment will go until 7 o'clock tonight and a decision will be made by tomorrow morning. Now, we will keep you updated on air and online on what that decision is on our website at abc10.com. Back to you.
In other news tonight, police are looking for the shooter after a woman was killed in Sacramento's Pocket neighborhood. It happened just before 11:30 last night in the Lake Crest Village shopping center along Florin Road. Police say the woman was taken to the hospital with a gunshot wound. She later died. Her identity is not yet released. Investigators are asking anyone with information to call Crime Stoppers. Deputies in Sacramento County are also investigating a shooting that happened this morning on 23rd Avenue near Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. The sheriff's office says a man was shot in the chest, but he was breathing and conscious when they arrived on scene. No word yet on a possible suspect. We're learning more about the investigation into that deadly shooting in Kansas City yesterday. Here's video of the scene today. Police used chairs left out from yesterday's Kansas City Chiefs rally to spell out KC Strong. Gunfire erupted in a crowd of thousands yesterday after a parade to celebrate their Super Bowl victory. One person was killed. She was a local radio host and mother of two. 22 others are hurt. Half of them are under the age of 16. Roughly 800 law enforcement officers were at the parade when the shooting happened, and tonight 3 people remain in custody. We can tell you terrorism has been ruled out as a possible motive.
Preliminary investigative findings have shown there was no nexus to terrorism or homegrown violent extremism. This appeared to be a dispute between several people that ended in gunfire.
Police say they found several weapons at the scene. They're still working to piece together exactly what happened. And tonight, new concerns over California Forever. That's the new proposed city a group of developers is proposing in Solano County between Rio Vista and Travis Air Force Base. Our Devin Truby has been reporting on this project in depth for months now. She explains the newest concerns.
Travis Air Force Base, known as the Gateway to the Pacific, handles more cargo and passenger traffic than any other military base in the U.S. Representatives John Garamendi and Mike Thompson say building a new city near the base jeopardizes the military's mission.
The training programs, there's no way it will not be affected. Now, because it'll be hemmed in.
Training like entering enemy territory, landing in difficult terrain, and even working alongside foreign military.
Within the pattern that has been set, they can operate. But if it's a windy day, if it's a foggy day, then trying to stay within that pattern may be impossible.
California Forever agrees, saying Travis Air Force Base leaders have legitimate concerns and posted this on their website. We refocused our entire team's efforts on devising an alternative plan that fully addresses the new concerns raised by Travis Air Force Base and removes any remaining impacts on the base's mission. This is the original map of California Forever's boundaries. The zone next to Travis was purple for industrial use. The new map shows it in green, and it's labeled Travis-compatible infrastructure, which would be 4,200 acres of potential solar energy. The city's downtown area and 2,000 acres worth of neighborhoods were moved 1 mile south to be further from Travis.
They did move the city and did set about an additional piece of land that would not be built on unless it was deemed to be okay by Travis.
Congressman Garamendi says he fears the billionaires behind California Forever will say one thing but do another, which is why he wants all of this in writing. He says because this development is still being proposed and it's not an incorporated city yet, it's difficult to hold them accountable without a traditional form of government.
The way this is structured, by using the initiative process, the initiative would remove all of the protections.
Travis Air Force Base sent us this statement today saying, in part, with this revised proposal, Travis Air Force Base will be able to continue flying its full mission, including all of our operational, exercise, and local training flights. You can read the full statement and more about this project on our website, abc10.com. Still ahead on To The Point, removing dams near the California-Oregon state line, why the project is controversial and when it's scheduled to be finished.
The next storm system just getting ready to arrive. How much rain and snow we're expecting this weekend.
Meteorologist Carly Gomez joins us. Carly, storms arriving ahead of this holiday weekend, right?
That's right. We are looking at the storm systems pushing in, the first one on Saturday. So if you had plans to head to Tahoe Friday, you're looking good. But if you had plans to head back on Monday, you better second think that, because we are looking at that storm system, at least the next set, arriving late Sunday night. You'll want to get out of there by Sunday morning. We are tracking that next low pressure arriving for your Saturday. So as you see ahead of that storm, we're looking at a lot of cloud coverage pushing in for your Friday. Partly cloudy skies tonight to mostly cloudy into your Friday. Now, we are anticipating a lot of strong wind gusts associated with the storm system. That's going to push through on Saturday, coming in out of the southeast here. You can see anywhere from 30 to almost 40 mile-per-hour wind gusts expected on Saturday afternoon and evening. So please be aware of that, especially if you're driving in it. You're also going to encounter a lot of rain. So pretty windy conditions even into your Sunday afternoon around 1:30 p.m. Now let's talk about how much rain's coming and when it's coming. We'll see cloudy skies Friday, and then here it comes on Saturday morning. Anywhere from around 5 to about 8 a.m. or so, we'll see our first signs of sprinkles, and then a lot of that heavier rain coming in right around the midday, mid-lunch hour there, and then into your evening, 6:30 p.m. Some nice fine showers pushing through along with some Sierra snowfall. We will look at some of the rain totals, anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain just for Saturday to Sunday, and then a lot more headed our way Monday through Wednesday. That's where we can really see the numbers going from anywhere from 2 inches to 4 inches across a lot of those valley spots. Sierra snowfall, the first storm only bringing in about 6 to maybe 12 inches at the peaks. And then all said and done, we could see as much as about 3 to even 4 feet of snow for those resorts. As we take a look at the next storm system arriving, that's going to be really for your Monday, Sunday late night into your Monday morning. And then we're going to see the second storm system Tuesday to Wednesday morning. Now, we do anticipate seeing that the 10-day forecast will bring temperatures up just a little bit, especially into Sunday. Partly cloudy in the upper 60s to mid 60s. And then we'll look at temperatures pretty much evening out here as we start getting into the upper 50s and low 60s through next week. Becca.
Thank you, Carly. Next, on to the point, a controversial dam removal process at the California-Oregon state line. The timeline of the project, the impact it will have, and why it's all part of a decades-long effort to help the fish. California and Oregon are currently undergoing the largest dam removal project in the world. 4 hydroelectric dams on the Klamath River are scheduled to be removed by the end of this year. But as ABC 10's John Bartel explains, the demolition of the dams will be the fastest part of this decades-long saga to restore fish passage on the Klamath River.
Long before the European explorers navigated these waters, the Klamath River was a highway for indigenous people.
We've taken these canoes places where they haven't seen canoes in like over 100 years.
Below the surface, salmon, steelhead, and cutthroat trout swam freely from the Cascade Mountains in Oregon to the Pacific Coast in California. Today, water is slowed by dams that electrify communities that live and make a living along the reservoir.
Every morning I wake up to this incredible, beautiful view, and it will be gone in less than 2 months.
Presence of the lake is, it's a huge thing for everybody out here.
Change is the only constant along the Klamath River, and change is happening again.
I was out here protesting from the time I was a little kid to undam the Klamath River, and yet we've come to a day where it's become a reality.
Just below the lake community of Copco is the start of a historic demolition project.
This is the largest dam removal project in the entire world that's currently underway.
For more than 100 years, a series of 6 hydroelectric dams have slowed the flow of the Klamath River to generate power for the Klamath Basin and beyond. In 2024, 4 of those dams will be removed.
These dams were really important at the time they were constructed. They electrified this region for the very first time.
Mark Bransom is the Chief Executive Officer of the Klamath River Renewal Corporation, or the KRRC, the nonprofit entity that's in charge of the removal project.
But it wasn't recognized at the time that the construction and operation of these dams was going to bring with it negative environmental impacts.
The 6 dams, or the Klamath Hydroelectric Project as it's known, were built between 1918 and 1964. Up until 2022, those very old dams were operated by power company PacifiCorp.
They generate a very small amount of power. In fact, they really represent only about 2% of the generating portfolio of PacifiCorp.
When PacifiCorp's licensing agreement ran out in 2006, they had the option of either repairing and updating the dams to modern standards or removing the dams altogether, which is the option they chose.
They estimated that they might spend somewhere on the order of $500 million to install fish passage and to do a variety of water quality improvement processes to continue to operate the dams, and it simply didn't make economic sense.
The 4 dams slated for removal are the J.C. Boyle Dam, which is in Oregon, and in California, the Copco 1, the Copco 2, and the Iron Gate Dam. The 2 dams that won't be removed or torn down are the Keno and the Link River Dam, which regulate floodwaters on the Oregon side.
This is the only time in history where this river is going to heal itself. There's a lot of people that aren't with us here today that strive for this to happen as the dam's taken out.
The Yurok people primarily live near the mouth of the Klamath River, where fresh water meets the ocean. As Julian paddles along the bank, he explains, The river is in a constant state of healing itself.
Dams, they're kind of the biggest culprit in making the river sick, and it's the blue-green algae.
The hydroelectric dams above the tribal lands slow water in the Klamath. In years of drought, plumes of blue-green algae grow in the slow-moving water and suck the oxygen out of the river.
Hundreds of dead fish, hundreds of them.
In 2002, the algae caused a massive fish kill that suffocated salmon and other aquatic life in the river.
You just see bodies upon bodies lining the shoreline of rotting salmon.
Brooke Thompson was just 7 years old when the fish kill happened.
You know, these salmon that I saw rotting and dying are my connection to my ancestors, right? We've been on this river, we've been in this space for over 15,000 years, since time immemorial.
Fish need water.
The fish kill led Brooke to a life of activism. She pushed for the removal of the dams at a very young age. In college, she studied environmental science, civil engineering, and political science.
I'm also looking at how to better integrate Indigenous knowledge into California water policies. So how can tribes communicate better with policymakers that make decisions on water?
Negotiations on how to remove the dam started around 2006, and an agreement wouldn't be finalized until about 2016. But it was the activism by Brooke, her tribe, and many environmentalists that made sure policymakers didn't lose focus and that the project would follow through. The drawdown of the dams on the Klamath started in mid-January of 2024, with a hole being blown in the side of 2 of them.
We really like coming out here. There are a lot of professional musicians and people in the arts here. It's an amazing, surprising community.
The water is expected to be drained by the spring of 2024, but as the dam's reservoirs drop, new concerns are on the rise.
Diatomaceous earth, crumbly, very crumbly, and that is what we are on here.
We talked to Patty Vinico a few months before the drawdown. She lives on Copco Lake, about a quarter-mile from the Copco dams. Her lakeside property, like many other people's property, is about to turn into cliffside property.
And there's no guarantee if our homes do tumble down that they will take care of us. We're literally, I call it collateral damage. We are collateral damage.
You can't drive around Copco Lake without seeing for sale signs around every corner. After the reservoir is drawn down, access to the new stretch of river will be difficult to get to, and there's many concerns that the nearby wells will run dry.
We need electricity. We need water. What are they taking out? 4 incredible, clean, producing electric dams and the most beautiful waterway, the most beautiful expanse.
It's taken years to get to this point, but the tribes along the Klamath River believe the world is watching what's happening in California and in Oregon.
I'm really hoping that this will be an inspiration to other groups of people where they're understanding that, you know, maybe what we're gaining with the dam is not worth what we're losing.
And if the world is watching, opponents of the dam removal hope they're watching both sides.
Well, all along, I think this community definitely felt unlistened to. If this is a successful dam removal experiment, for lack of a better word, then
they're coming after your dams.
They will. They're going to want to open up a lot more volitional passageways.
By the end of 2024, all 4 dams will be removed and salmon will once again be able to swim up the Klamath. The next step is to replant native plants and restore the land damaged by the reservoirs. But this is for the next chapter in the story of the Klamath Dam removals.
As we speak, the water in the Klamath River dams is being drained, and lots of sediment from the reservoir is making its way down the river. Now, this is causing temporary impacts to the environment. Those impacts will be the topic of our next story on the Klamath Dam removals. We'll be right back after this short break. Vacations are a time to relax and unwind, right? But the next time you stay somewhere, be aware someone could be watching you. Hidden cameras are now being found in all shapes and sizes, with some even the size of your fingernail. They're being found in hotel rooms and rentals. But hey, how common are they? And what can you do to spot them before they spot you?
There was a camera pointed at the bed in the bedroom, there was a camera pointed at the shower, and there was a camera pointed at the toilet. The concern is that these images weren't just being seen by one individual. The concern is that they were being sold outside in order to generate money.
Oh, that is so creepy. Well, look, coming up tomorrow on To The Point, how you can spot hidden cameras and what to do if you find one. That's tomorrow at 6:30. Thanks for watching. Have a good night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.